Ellsworth there of The Australian. The news broke very late for the Australian newspapers. No such problem for the British newspapers. Mark LaBelle is with me. But they did have a decision to make. Which of the many, many pictures over 70 years of the Queen's reign would they put on the front page?
Exactly. The Queen is no stranger to the front pages. She's adorned them for many years, sometimes fantastically. But this was decision time for those newspaper editors. And many of them chose white and black mastheads. They took some of the colour away. It was a respectful style. It was touching. And if we start with the Daily Mail, they've actually chosen a picture from before her reign. This is Princess Elizabeth in 1952. Our hearts are broken, the newspaper says. The columnist Sarah Vine saying, how to find the words. Our grief is 100 different emotions. And then if we move to The Guardian, they choose one of the first pictures of her reign from the coronation. This is Cecil Beaton's portrait of the Queen in the throne room of Buckingham Palace with a painted backdrop depicting Westminster Abbey on many of the newspapers this morning. And the Times, the back of the Times, they also choose that picture. But they have this quote from the Queen's Christmas message in 1957. That was the first time it was televised. And if I could just read it to you. This is the Queen. She says, I cannot lead you into battle. I do not give you laws or administer justice, but I can do something else. I can give you my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. The other picture that's very popular in the papers is this one in the Express, which headlines, Our beloved Queen is dead. This is a portrait released by the royal family at the time of the Queen's death. They're the monochrome style chosen by the Express. And if we go to the Telegraph, the words they choose are actually the Queen's words. Grief is the price we pay for love.
From 9/11.
From 9/11, that was the Queen speaking to the families of the victims and also representing a nation in mourning, of course.
So much history, so much reflection. If you were to pick out one thing that you've read through the papers this morning, what would it be?
Look at this cartoon in The Guardian. This is the Queen travelling in a carriage by herself on the Elizabeth line. Now, this was a very important moment in the last few months because although she didn't turn up for Remembrance Sunday, she couldn't do the state opening of Parliament, she did turn up to open this line. And here she is travelling into the sunset there. And there are many, many warm words. The front page of the Mirror says, no headline, just thank you to the monarch. And The Sun, we loved you, ma'am. And that's because she was so loved. She was this incredible character, wasn't she? Cameos with Paddington and James Bond. I remember seeing her behind the scenes. I was setting up a bar in Buckingham Palace, working as a waiter there, and she comes in, because I see these dogs come around, I realise they're corgis. I look up, there's a grandmother in a cardigan. She's walking around fastidiously, checking the centrepieces for all these tables that are about to entertain her staff, and all the knives and forks are in the right place. She's also then somebody you head around the Christmas table and watch the Christmas message every year for. And then she has audiences with prime ministers. Yet she was so resilient, she could put up with family troubles, who doesn't have them? And even with her mobility issues, she kept going right till the end, to her 96th year. She's a tough act to follow for King Charles III. The papers have lots of pull-out editions. They're definitely focusing on the death of the Queen, even though, of course, next will come the making of a king.
That is the majesty of the Queen, the official and the familiar. Mark LaBelle, thank you very much indeed.